side there is Jason Moss as well, Montreal Alouettes head coach. Extremely excited about the way that Fajardo has been battling through adversity. Loves his toughness. We'll have more on that as the evening continues here. And Orlando Steinauer counting them up on special teams, trying to get the penalties to go away. The most penalized team in the CFL right now, trying to reduce that, and they will take the football first. Montreal won the toss. They deferred. Hamilton said they won it, and we are underway from Tim Hortons Field. Starting McAllister, turning it across the 15, the 20, out to the 30. And we get a chance to welcome Taylor Powell to the lineup tonight after a 21-yard return.
Now we get a look at the young man Powell, well-traveled in his college career. His first season in the Canadian Football League again. True rookie. Pressed into the lineup because of injuries to Bo Levi Mitchell and Matthew Schultz.
Break the huddle with James Butler standing alongside him. 77 carries thus far on the season. Big signing in free agency. Haven't used him all that much. On first down, they do go to Butler. Nice crashing run that time for about 8 yards on the play, as we get a chance to meet the Tiger Cats starting offense.
And along that offensive line, two rookie Americans at the tackle spots. Brandon Kemp, Kendrick Sartor. They'll get their first look at Sean Lemon, one of the league's preeminent pass rushers in this one. Keep an eye on Terry Godwin as he looks to establish himself as solid option number 3 in the passing game for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
A shot there of Tommy Condell, the coordinator of this offense, 7th in the CFL at just over 20 points per game thus far. Lots of different quarterbacks, of course, have had been used. Powell looking to throw quickly, being chased down from behind, doesn't see the man, ball is out, fumble early, it's on the ground, rolling around at the bottom of the pile, and who's got it?
So I may have alluded a little bit earlier to the fact that Sean Lemon is rushing against two rookie tackles in this ball game. Well, guess who just caused that fumble?
Still battling for it down at the bottom of the pile. It looks like Butler against Tyrese Beverett as a flag comes out as Powell walks to the sideline here. But you're right, Dwayne, it is a couple of young tackles going up against an elite veteran pass rusher in Lemon.
Yeah, and this is exactly why the Montreal Alouettes went out and got the free agent Lemon to provide a little boost to that pass rush, and he's just going to come around the horn and keep that motor running. As Taylor Powell slides to his right, gets the hands off him. Sack, strip.
After the play, there are 2 misconduct penalties against 26 Montreal, against 8 Hamilton. They're both 15-yarders. It evens out. The result of the play is a first down for Montreal.
There is no 8 on Hamilton, so I expect that that'll be James Butler. You saw at the bottom of the pile battling against Tyrese Beverett, but Sean Lemon back in the lineup last week against Calgary. Really didn't do very much in that game, getting his win back a little bit. The rare 0-on-0 quarterback hit from behind.
Yes, sir, Sean Lemon. He's got to put on a show here in Hamilton because it's the only team he hasn't played for. He's auditioning.
Well, great field position for Cody Fajardo in the Montreal Alouettes starting offense as Powell, after just 2 snaps, goes back to the sideline and gets a chance to regroup for his next possession. Meanwhile, the Alouettes begin in the 33-yard line of Hamilton. Goes the inside run. Here it is. William Stanback churning the legs after 15 carries for 86 yards last week. Let's get a look at Cody Fajardo.
Yeah, Cody Fajardo now among the veteran quarterbacks in the Canadian Football League, 2019 MOP finalist with Saskatchewan, of course, in his first season here with the Montreal Alouettes. Terrific dual threat quarterback. You see the rushing numbers for him on the season, 159 yards coming in.
Fajardo, after a gain of 7, goes back to stand back. The run game going here early. 3 of the first 4 offensive calls between these two have been running plays. A little uncharacteristic based on what their early season output was, but this one works. They'll move the sticks. We get a look at the Montreal Alouettes starting offense without Keon Julian Grant out injured.
Injuries continue in that receiving core, but little shuffle up front. Jamar McGloster, veteran CFLers in at right tackle this week, as you mentioned, with Julian Grant out. They did get Tyson Philpott back last week. Expect him to play a bigger role, as they expect of the veteran Herji Mayala.
This time, quick game going outside, intercepted across the 15, missing a little bit high was Fajardo, but his receiver fell down, and taking advantage, it's Richard Leonard with his second interception of the season. The defense celebrates back-to-back turnovers by these offenses to start the ball game. Waiting for it was 23. Picks it up and puts it down. Ticats ball.
Richard Leonard.
Gordy Fajardo came in with a CFL best 3 interceptions. That's one there. Now has 4 on the season. Powell on the move, throws inside. McAllister makes the grab before his helmet explodes into the sideline, as we get a look at the Montreal Alouettes starting defense.
Yeah, and up front, as mentioned, Sean Lemon in his second game since joining the Alouettes D, already having an impact in this one. The sack and a forced fumble. Former Ticat Tyrese Beverett in the linebacking core has the fumble recovery in the secondary. Keep an eye on Kavion Ento on the corner. 50-plus yard pick 6 last week. One of the big plays in Montreal's win over the Calgary Stampeders.
Ento at the top of your screen here on the wide side corner tonight against the Tiger Cats. Checking it down underneath. It goes to Butler. Running away from tacklers. Spins off a second. Makes his way up to the 43-yard line for a Tiger Cats first down.
You'll see pressure comes on Powell. He does a nice job of just stepping up in the pocket, calmly keeping his eyes downfield. He's got the running back there as the outlet. Great move there, just a little stutter step to freeze the linebacker for beating him to the outside.
Frederick Chagnon, you saw there, trying to track down Butler. He's in at middle linebacker as a starter tonight in place of the injured Avery Williams. Powell rolling to his right once again. On the move, big hit that time. Butler makes the grab, but pays the price. J.R. Reed flying down from his wide side linebacker spot.
Nice little bit of play action, misdirection here.
Yeah. Don't you love a good field, Mike?
You really do. Nice when the players provide their own sound effects.
Welcome to week 9, everyone. Powell on second and long. Steps forward in the pocket. Looks to use the wheels. Gets to the outside. Bryce Notree hauls him down just across the 50. It'll be shy of the first down marker.
Yeah, it was noted before Taylor Powell's first start that he is not a guy who had an impressive rushing resume in college, but you know, not necessarily the fleetest of foot, but demonstrated with a rushing touchdown in his first start that he's a guy who can make some plays with his legs as needed.
6 carries for a 6.5-yard average so far on the season. It remains to be, of course, that first start against the Toronto Argonauts back in week 7. Here he is back at home with another start after the Bowden by Mitchell injury last Friday night in Ottawa at the end of that game. Kicked away for the Tiger Cats. Bailey Flint, the Aussie boots, spirals one high down at the 10-yard line. Received there by Chandler Worthy after a 49-yard punt. And the Tiger Cats special teams unit right there to cover down.
A touchdown to interception ratio, completing 70% of his tosses.
292 yards passing in a 38-12 victory here earlier on this season. Is back to the ground game. Go the Alouettes. Once again, there's 31 fighting his way through as the Tiger Cats starting defense. There's Richard Leonard already with the interception.
And on that Tiger Cat defensive line, we'll keep an eye on Malik Carney. He'll move around a little bit, as will many defenders in the Mark Washington defense. Chris Edwards. An auspicious ending to the last game against Montreal here, but a guy who can make a difference with his play. Watch for Tunde Adeleke playing halfback for the Ticats again this week. Stavros Katsantonis in at free safety.
Fajardo on second and medium, gets it to the outside. It is caught. Cutting back, making his way across the 55 and more. had the big touchdown here against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Makes another splash play for this Alouettes passing attack.
Yeah, Austin Mack, we expect to see him start doing some different things, moving around a little bit more within that receiving core for the Owls, but here showing off some after-the-catch skills. Making the first man miss, taking that one north-south into scoring territory for the Montreal Alouettes.
Full house backfield to start here for Fajardo. They'll hand it off inside. Run defense right there that time. Finishing it off, it is Chris Edwards. But going back to Austin Mack, and touchdowns. Had a season-low 5 targets last week, but off to a great start here.
Yeah, we look back to his previous effort here in Hamilton. Remember, 2 big touchdowns for him in that one. 5 catches, 81 yards on the day.
Operating without Keon Julian Grant again here tonight. Tied for the team lead in second down conversion catches. They'll have to go elsewhere. They decide to go to Tyson Philpott. And he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage before the Tiger Cats defense swarms.
Well, kind of looking for a little misdirection, then screening it back to Philpott, who is one of the best in the league in terms of his after-the-catch production last year. You're going to see him sneak out left side on your screen. They're trying to get the O-line out in front of him, but Chris Edwards sniffed that one out early and was coming downhill on it right away.
Goal attempt coming here from David Cote is from this distance on the season, 9 of 10. This one from 38 yards away, and he missed it. Bounces off the hands of McAllister. Return trying to get set up. He makes 2-man miss to the outside. And the man who leads the CFL in kickoff return average at 30.8 yards per touch dips his toes into the missed field goal waters with a 27-yard return. McAllister, a lightning bolt of energy for the Tiger Cats here in Week 9.
Says Taylor Powell is always invested.
That's not what I said.
Inside handoff, James Butler. He'll do the running for the Tiger Cats as he gets a touch on first down. Once again, Hamilton changing it up, going against the grain with these first down rushing attempts. But James Butler trying to get him into a rhythm just to try and get Taylor Powell a little bit settled as well in this game after that early sack fumble.
Yeah, exactly. It's about keeping that Montreal defensive line a little bit off balance, not letting them get their ears pinned back, anticipating pass. And you got to recognize James Butler's a pretty good offensive weapon to have. You got to find ways to put the ball in his hands, and that's the easiest. Hand it to him.
2nd and 4. They'll pitch it to him this time on the edge. Can he get the corner? Bit of a missed block on the outside. He jumps over the attempted tackler. Will pick up the first down for Hamilton. Near the 39-yard line, and that one goes as a pitch, but he's already got 33 pass targets on the season, and he's 2nd on the Tiger Cats in total yards.
And a little misdirection with the kind of almost pump fake on the pitch there. Freezes the D, allowing Butler to get a jump start in terms of getting the edge, and he's just running over everybody down there.
Crew paying the price here. The season doesn't start till Labor Day. I think everybody on the sideline disagrees, who just got popped by Butler. They were running through tacklers left, right, and center as Duke Williams crosses the formation. Hasn't said his name yet here tonight. Look to throw. Powell loads it up down the middle, and it is incomplete. Trying to force it in between Marc-Antoine Dequoy and Stubblefield. We get a look at James Butler and his season thus far. One of these things is not like the other.
Well, certainly some ups and downs there as you look at 3 games under 20 yards, and particularly with 2 of those coming after the 127-yard effort.
Let's go, move.
Trying to get it to him here early a little bit as Hamilton plays 2nd and 10 from their own 39. Powell deep drop, climbs the pocket over the top, looks up and over the defense, and it's complete. It's Godwin making the grab across midfield. First down, Hamilton.
Terry Godwin. 28-yard pickup there for him. 12 catches for 174 yards over the Ticats' last 2 games, leading the team in both those categories through that stretch. And as a result of his recent production, now the team leader in receptions.
Great to convert on 2nd and long. Something Hamilton has struggled a little bit with, regardless of quarterback so far this season. They'll fake the little run to McAllister. Powell climbs the pocket and dropped off the hands of Keandre Smith.
And this is a nice job by the young quarterback, Powell. Watch as he steps up. You're going to see 2 defenders closing on him. You just think he's going to get crunched as he steps up, but great poise there, puts the ball on the money, and certainly one that Keandre Smith would like to have back.
Kind of fitted into a tight window. Smith saw everybody in white uniforms around him, felt the pressure. Hamilton will now again. 2nd and long. Powell drops back, tries to throw it underneath on a crossing route, and it's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Looks like Frederick Chagnon getting the congratulations from his teammates on that one.
You're going to see Chagnon, the linebacker, mugged up in the line of scrimmage here. That B gap looping all the way around.
Just couldn't get the hands down enough. So the punting unit comes out for Hamilton. 2 onside players behind the punter. Just out of your screen bottom. They'll hang this one up dangerously. They can go and get it. It's a live ball bouncing. Worthy will pick it up back inside his own 5. And everybody from the Tiger Cats special teams unit is there that time. Dropped inside the 5, and Hamilton took advantage on coverage, being told. Getting out on the road. Happy birthday, Andy. Sharing it with royalty as well. Former Alouettes coach Marv Levy turning 98 a couple of days ago.
Did my first ever game on TSN with Andy as my director. Glad to still have him riding with us.
Happy birthday, Andy. Here's a gift. Just to the outside. It's Austin Mack making the grab, moving the chains once again on 1st down. Aggressive call that time, rolling Cody Fajardo on 1st down in his own end zone.
But yeah, you always expect that abbreviated playbook when you get into that kind of field position. But nice execution there by the Alouettes to give themselves a little bit of breathing room.
Jason Moss dialing it up. It's Austin Mack. Continues to have success here at Tim Hortons Field on the season. Motion, Sneed and Philpott to the right of Fajardo. He pumps the other direction, looking for Hergy Mayala down the seam. Overshot it, intercepted. Richard Leonard, that's 2.
See this one sails a little bit to the high and outside on Hergy Mayala. Richard Leonard, once again, the beneficiary.
The look on Jason Moss's face at the end of that one, watching it drop into the arms of Richard Leonard, says it all for a team that's had 3 interceptions coming in and 2 here in the 1st quarter. Just a miss from Fajardo over the top, and the 2 that Leonard has caught, one's right into his chest, the other one's caught like a punt.
Yeah, I mean, Richard Leonard, a guy who's played most of his career at halfback, typically on that field side, bumps out to corner. I think he's kind of enjoying life out on the corner.
Some freebies here early on. Can Hamilton take advantage? Powell slings it to the outside. Another grab this time for James Butler, getting him on the edge in creative ways once again.
And James Butler, and I think a lot of Ticat Nation probably very pleased to see the frequency with which the ball is ending up in the hands of number 9 in black and gold in the early going here. And their big free agent signings this offseason. A little bit bit of a feeling that he hasn't been used quite as much as one would have anticipated to this point in the year.
6 touches so far in the ball game, more than 40 yards already. Powell rolling to his left, Bryce Notary all over him. It's second down. He'll find the sticks and step out of bounds.
And once again, Powell demonstrating that he's able to make some plays with his legs when given the chance. Here, extending the Ticats' drive. He's got the eyes downfield looking for a throw, but recognizes that he's got a chance to beat Notary around that corner and get to the first down marker. You know, that to me is a sign of growth for a young quarterback in just his second start.
If Montreal heats up the young quarterback here, so a bit of a pressure look. A lot of bodies in the box, backside screen, and Butler might have been home free if he got one big block out in front. He had the center, David Beard, out there ready to help him, but falls incomplete.
Yeah, keep an eye here on the misdirection. You've got McAllister going right. Butler's going to come back the other way to set up for the screen. You see the Alouettes flow with Powell rolling that way, McAllister going. And yeah, as you suggested, Marshall, I think there was a little bit of room for James Butler if he caught that one to get to the sideline.
Witnessing the James Butler as pass catcher game here through the first quarter. We'll see if it continues. Steps forward this time, leaks out of the backfield as Powell looks downfield. Flings it looking for Terry Godwin, and they'll say that he hauled it in front of Cordell Rogers. First down, Hamilton.
Godwin lines up out wide here. You're going to see him do a nice job working back to the football, and this is key as Rogers does a good job getting right on him. Had a decent jump on the ball. Godwin gets him shielded out, picks up that first down yardage.
Bit of a hurry up and wait here. Hamilton got to the line of scrimmage quickly, waited it out. Powell now trying to go to the backside, incomplete. Was looking for Kai Loxley against Marc-Antoine Duquois. And on the final play of the first quarter, Loxley nearly takes it to the house, the third-string quarterback who had a touchdown on the final play of the third quarter last Friday. But Hamilton got a victory on the road in Ottawa. Can they get another here at home? Hamilton in week number 9. Hamilton trying to get the rushing game going a little bit, getting James Butler on the edge as well. Taylor Powell getting his feet settled, but really it's the 2 interceptions right now by Cody Fajardo. Feels a little bit like Montreal coming in is playing down to the level of Hamilton, who haven't been able to move the ball effectively thus far.
Well, and you have to wonder as well for Montreal. We've talked all season about them having injuries in that receiving corps, people coming and going out of that lineup. And you notice that both the interceptions have been balls intended for Hergy Mayala. He's getting some looks in the slot, usually occupied by Keon Julian Grant, who's been very busy. And, you know, this may just be a case of Mayala and Fajardo finding their way with Hergy in a new spot this week.
Cody Fajardo did say to us that Hergy Mayala is playing in his 3rd different spot this season already here in week number 9. Had no concerns about him being in a variety of different places, but certainly feel a little bit lost without Keon Julian Grant right now. But Hamilton's offense faces 2nd and 10 after the incompletion to Loxley to finish the first quarter. Powell underneath, Godwin makes the grab in front of Cordell Rogers. We'll see where they spot it, but Godwin adds another to his tally here, his 3rd catch of the ball game to start the second quarter.
They've got a couple of inroads coming from that side of the field. The first one clearing space, then Terry Godwin coming underneath to catch that one in front of the corner, Cordell Rogers.
3 catches, 52 yards as Wall Uguak checks into the game. Defensive back Stubblefield comes out. A bit of a heavier package. Sean Lemon digs in as well. Already a sack and a forced fumble here in the Tiger Cats' first possession. Hamilton will flip it backwards this time to McAllister. 2 blockers out in front. Cuts to the sideline and Notary there to finish him off, but not until he's inside the 10-yard line. Another first down for Hamilton on a nice design that time, Dwayne.
Yeah, I like the look of that play, particularly the way it's set up, given that they've been feeding James Butler the ball so much. Montreal, you're absolutely going to buy into a run fake to Butler, who's in the backfield behind Taylor Powell. Run fake, everybody's crashing down, and you get the fastest guy in your offense with the ball in his hands out on the edge and a convoy in front of him.
The Tiger Cats this season, when they're inside the score zone, coming away with touchdowns on just 9 of 20 opportunities. 45% is 6th in the 9-team CFL. They'd love to finish here. Flipping it to the outside once again, it's Butler. A lot of white uniforms to try and dig his way through. Goes for a gain of 5, down to the 4.
Yeah, James Butler continues to be the busiest man on the field. 7th touch of the ball game for him already here early in the second quarter. Again, it speaks to a game plan designed to let a young quarterback have high percentage throws, getting a little bit of rhythm, not feel too much heat from the Alouettes D-line.
Taylor Powell said coming into this that he loved the game plan from Tommy Condell. I think we know what it is after 1 quarter. Do they go back to Butler here? Inside run. The Butler did it. Touchdown Hamilton.
Butler goes in standing up here. See Brandon Revenberg knocking his man down to the inside. Clearing the way for Ticat running back James Butler. The game's first score.
9 plays, 60 yards in just over 4 minutes. Felt like Butler was involved as either a decoy or the primary on nearly every single play.
Yes, sir.
Maybe that's the evolution. This Hamilton offense trying to find solid footing. With the loss of Bo Levi Mitchell to the injured list for the 2nd time this season. Mark Leggio comes out 5 of 8 on the year for point after attempts. Knocks this one through. As we get a look at James Butler slashing his way to the end zone. His 4th of his Tiger Cats career.
Attacking the bubble that exists right here over top of the guard. You're going to see Brandon Revenberg. He does a nice job. Sarter coming down, and as well Duke Williams coming in to get a piece of that linebacker to ensure that there's a run lane for James Butler to get through there. Or Kemp, rather, the tackle tries to redirect. He comes back as well. Nice lane there for James Butler to go in standing up.
Follows the hash mark all the way to pay dirt. Hamilton gets the first major of the ball game down the right sideline. It's returned by Worthy, who finally gets bumped across midfield. Had a 77-yard punt return touchdown earlier this season here against the Tiger Cats, and adds another explosive return here. That's just the 2nd big return of the season for the Montreal Alouettes. The first was this man right here.
Chandler Worthy doing a terrific job. Once again, big collision to end that one, but special teams providing a nice response after the Hamilton touchdown.
Trying to get Cody Fajardo back on track. 2 interceptions in the first quarter of play. Goes hard count to begin. Flag comes up on the snap.
Time count violation, Montreal number 7. It's a 5-yard penalty. We'll replay first down.
Wondered, Dwayne, he went hard count the first time and triple count the 3rd.
Yeah, Alouettes just a little out of sorts here offensively. Need to take a minute to take a deep breath here in the huddle.
Jake Hardy was in a receiver on that play as well. Not a usual receiver. More of a special teamer. Wonder if they had a substitution error, some confusion coming off the sideline as well. Regardless, the 5-yard penalty makes it 1st and 15. Fajardo, quick drop, looks into the window, misses high again. This time was looking for Tyler Sneed.
Again, Sneed's been in the lineup for a couple of games already for the Montreal Alouettes, including a 3-touchdown performance against Toronto, but that time he and Fajardo just not able to get connected. Cody a little off the mark.
Sneed, 8 catches on the season, 3 of them touchdowns, all in the same game against the Toronto Argonauts. On 2nd and 15, Fajardo drifts to his left, completes this one. Courtney Davis makes the grab, and Tunde Adeleke right there. Minimal gain, and it'll be a 2 and out for this Hamilton defense that forces the fewest of those in the CFL, just 32% of the time getting off the field on a 2 and out.
Yeah, Fajardo forced to hold on to the ball for a long time before eventually settling on what's essentially a check down route for him to Courtney Davis out on the wide side of the field. So big stop there for the Tiger Cat D after terrific starting field position for the Owls on that drive.
Worthy with the big return. They can't do anything with it. Eric McAllister stands back ready to return. This Hamilton team has no explosive returns yet on the season, as this one rolling low into the feet of McAllister. 48-yard punt, no return. There's James Butler. A bit of duck, duck, goose in the end zone. Why not? Time to celebrate a major. Under at Sedgefield Country Club. So that one shakes out tomorrow in a final round Sunday. Right here on TSN is the Hamilton Tiger Cats with Taylor Powell, 1st and 10. After McAllister fell on the punt. Gets it to the outside once again, and the leading receiver at the end of week 9 might be James Butler in the CFL.
Yeah, come hell or high water. The ball is going to number 9 today. Butler with the game's only touchdown so far. Noel Thorpe, Alouettes defensive coordinator, looking to find an answer for number 9 in black and gold.
2nd down and 3. 4 receivers to the left right now of Powell. Alouettes send the blitz. Powell has to get rid of it. He looks over the middle. Only receiver to his right. It was completed to him. That's Godwin making the grab, isolated, and Powell climbing the pocket as he has already done about 5-6 times in this game, throwing effectively on the run.
Well, if James Butler's not catching the ball, he's helping out on the blitz pickup. He's going to shift here to pick up one of the 2 free rushers from that side, allowing Taylor Powell to step up and again find Terry Godwin.
See the Georgia Bulldog alum, 2nd-year CFLer. 4 catches, 75 yards to this point for Godwin. That was a big one, backed up. Breathing room for the Tiger Cats. Fake the run to Butler. Powell rolls to his right, looks down the field. Open man, it's Tim White. Caught, turns on a dime. Tackled just inside the 45, and another 1st down.
Yeah, we've expected the Tiger Cats passing game this season, particularly based on the early portion of the season, to rely heavily on Tim White and Duke Williams. Obviously today it's been Terry Godwin and a lot of James Butler, but Tim White says, don't forget about me. White, the trailer here on this. 4 receivers out to the right side. See how he gets the clear, pulls 2 defenders deep. White sits it down for an easy hookup.
16-yard gain, and flags come up here before they get this away. Butler would have had another catch. Sean Lemon introduces himself to his fellow Zero.
Procedure, Hamilton, left tackle. It's a 5-yard penalty. We'll replay the 1st down.
Go against Brandon Kemp there with the procedure call. You see Orlando Steinauer. Shuffling that offensive line here in the first third of the CFL season, really. Trying to find the right answers. It'll be 1st and 15. Hard count, and this might have been procedure again, unless Montreal jumped.
Procedure, Hamilton, 66. It's a 5-yard penalty. We're going to replay the 1st down, and timer, we're going to hold the clock until the snap.
And Brandon Kemp looked like he tried to catch himself A little bit on this one. It was kind of a slow, awkward turnout. There he gets a little fist bump from the veteran Brandon Revenberg. Tell him to shake it off. Get ready to go.
Tapping himself on the helmet as well, just trying to wake himself up and get out of the funk from the last couple of snaps. Hamilton, after the touchdown score from Butler, had a little bit of momentum. Stalled now, going backwards. Most penalized team in the Canadian Football League. They'll begin with a draw handoff inside. Butler gets another touch. They'll get about 4.5, 5 yards back on this one, but penalties have been a problem for Hamilton throughout the year, Dwayne. 10.5 per game. We've got 25 on special teams alone, the most penalized unit in the CFL.
And, you know, don't want to spend a lot of time dwelling on it, but you look at the injury last week to Bo Levi Mitchell. It's an injury that probably doesn't happen if they don't take a penalty on the defensive play where they stop Ottawa.
They couldn't go victory formation at that point. Second and long, Powell throwing into it. It's intercepted. Going the other direction. Montreal gets one back. It's J.R. Reed. His first of the season, filling in for the injured Najee Murray. Murray had 32 tackles leading the Alouettes. Got hurt last Sunday against the Calgary Stampeders, and Reed jumps in and jumps the pass. Montreal with
two defenders on this play. Duke Williams is the middle receiver to the wide side. But you've got Reed, who's playing like a halfback, dropping deep here. But the other defender I want you to watch is the corner out to this side. On the outside, he's going to play off of the widest receiver, and he's cheating towards Duke Williams on the inside. That makes for a very tight window, where if the corner is pulled out by the wide receiver more, Powell can throw that ball to the outside for Williams, away from Reed.
Reed gets the interception. Is on the season. That'll be the second for Taylor Powell. And just jumping in and robbing from the outside in.
Hey, shoot at it, all right? Over the top. Okay, you got two coming at you.
J.R. Reed proving to be a quick study.
What a teacher, though. Marcus Montecroix.
Really good contact on that back. And the trap coverage right here, right on the sideboard. Really good.
Yeah, so here you get a look. Again, Duke Williams, the intended target, but two defenders quickly converging on him as that ball's coming in.
Bo Levi Mitchell watching on with his family here this evening. It's the 5 interception game before the injury last week, and he knows all too much about what it feels to throw an interception in black and gold right now. Is Taylor Powell trying to jam that one into Duke a little bit into the tight window. Just couldn't make it work. See Bo with the boot on after having the lower leg fracture late in the game against Ottawa last Friday. And just strange circumstances. As I say, the penalty backed them up. They couldn't go victory formation and kneel it out. You can't go backwards. You got to go forwards. Are you going forwards in this spot with Taylor Powell as your backup? Orlando Steinauer said, well, we hadn't taken a snap all game, so we went with Bo.
Yeah, and in a situation where, you know, as you will well know, lots of rain earlier in the night, maybe slick ball, and you're not in a hurry to be snapping it to a guy, as you said, who hasn't taken any snaps. So Bo is in the game and has to basically run the sneak, as we are reminded why so many teams take their starting quarterbacks out on sneaks.
No doubt.
Fluke play.
Yeah, and Kai Loxley at third quarterback as they bring the card out here for Mohamed Diallo. I hate to see that for him as he gets attended to by Claire Toffelmeyer, the head athletic therapist of the Tiger Cats. Diallo gingerly up onto his feet here. Big man in the middle of that defense, third-round pick back in 2021. And not able to put much weight on that leg as the Hamilton faithful give him a round of applause and hope that that one's not too serious.
Always appreciate the sportsmanship. The opposition coming over, give their well wishes. Yeah, I felt Diallo was one of the best players in that draft class. Marshy had a terrific year playing in the MAC conference. Very productive. And transferred for his last year to play at Arizona.
Central Michigan before?
Central Michigan, yeah.
I should be familiar with all MAC schools, but I don't know who plays in what conference at this point.
Yeah, they're not what they used to be.
We're figuring it out on the fly here. Cody Fajardo scrambling out to his right-hand side. Got room to run. Decides to use the wheels. Nice block by Tyson Philpott. Saving his quarterback a little extra bump that time along the sideline. It's a first down scramble for Fajardo.
Yeah, and I love the heads up by Philpott, who does a great job. He can't drop the shoulder on his guy, but you're going to see him as Chris Edwards is in pursuit. Philpott hustles to get in front of him and get the hands up, and as you said, save his quarterback a hit.
Don't have to be a stop sign, right, Dwayne? Speed bump will do it sometimes. Hand off, inside, stand back through the first tackler and chopped down by Simone Lawrence, but a solid gain on first down. Montreal Alouettes just 5.8 yards per first down, 8th in the CFL.
Watch Stanback finding his way through the big bodies here. Double team up to second level by Lestage and Callender. Nice pickup.
Caleb Evans comes in here. Not in the short yardage package, so they substitute Fajardo out on 2nd and 4. No attempts on the year for Evans. 7 carries, they've all been in short yardage. They'll fake the run. Now he'll take off himself. And he can't make Simone Lawrence miss, but it's enough for the first down. So a little bit of quarterback run package, something we haven't seen from Jason Moss and the Alouettes.
Yeah, nice addition to the Alouettes playbook here. Keep an eye on Simone Lawrence, kind of spying into the backfield because everybody else is going with Stanback on the run fake. Watch how much room that leaves for Evans. Simone Lawrence kind of has to make that tackle because there's a whole lot of green if Evans runs by him.
Fajardo back in the ball game. Empty of Stanback. Quick screen the other way. Courtney Davis trying to get him down the chute. Makes 2-man miss. Inside the 20-yard line. Good effort by Davis on a play that looked like it might have gone backwards, but the first-year Texas A&M alum gets a nice pickup.
Yeah, it looked like the Tiger Cats had sniffed this one out pretty well, but Davis proves to be elusive, slipping the tackle of Tunde Adeleke there to get himself upfield close to the first down.
Malik Carney came in at the end of the play trying to punch the football out from behind, and he's actually the Tiger Cat that's down, touching that left leg as they just carted off Mohamed Diallo. Carney had back-to-back sacks against Ottawa last Friday, 5 on the season. That leads Hamilton right now, so they hate to see him need the moment.
Yeah, looked to be the victim of some friendly fire there as a number of Tiger Cat teammates were rallying to the football here.
Gingerly as it may be. That defensive line getting a little bit thin at this point. Carney down, Diallo down. Expect to see some more snaps from the veteran Ted Laurent in his 11th year in the CFL, and Anthony Federico to Queens as well. 17th overall pick last year. Short yardage right now. Caleb Evans back in the ball game. Plunges to the right-hand side. Looks like he'll have enough to move the chains as plunge their way forward through that defensive line, who's figuring out their rotations on the fly.
Yeah, interesting with Diallo getting nicked up, to note that Ticats did elect to dress an extra defensive tackle in Jared Hewitt this week, as opposed to an extra end, Cedric Wilcox, coming off the roster this week.
Bottom of your screen, 2 touchdowns last time he was here in Hamilton. They'll run it, cutting back his Stanback, driving the legs, trying to make his way through Simone Lawrence as 31 loses his helmet in the process, and now flags come up at the end of the play. Simone was hooked up with William Stanback.
Stanback proven to be a force in the early going here as well. Moving some piles.
Judge Renantwi checks into the ball game as Stanback had his helmet pop off.
Stanback, 7 carries, 37 yards to this point in the ball game, averaging just over 5 a pop.
After the play, we have a misconduct 15-yard penalty against Montreal, number 61. We'll go back 15 yards, and it's going to be second down.
Gloucester was the one that made the mess at the end of the pile there. Stanback trying to untether himself from Simone.
So, untimely penalty for the Alouettes, given the field position.
We roll inside, 3 minutes remaining in this first half. Fajardo, not a lot of attempts, just 5 of 8 right now, a couple of interceptions. He looks down the field on 2nd and long, tries to flip it out underhanded, and they'll call it incomplete as a pass attempt. It was Antwi, the closest receiver to it, as we've hit the 3-minute warning in Hamilton. Low scoring, back and forth. Fajardo trying to find his rhythm, very nearly creating a turnover.
You know I don't like coffee. Cream and sugar? Can I handle cream and sugar? These darn rookies.
Anything right, huh?
I liked mine.
Cream. It's cream in their coffee. Barker, come on. Field goal attempt coming here for the Alouettes, looking for their first points of the ball game. Up and through, they're on the board. There's Jason Moss. The things he looks for in a quarterback. Dwayne, this is the reason I'm standing next to you here this evening. Didn't have any of these, but you need to have these if you want to play for Jason Moss. With more on that, let's go down to Matthew Shinetti.
Maybe the smart and accurate hasn't happened yet for Cody Fajardo in this game, but we know he's tough. 154 sacks since 2019. But when you look at those that he's been around, whether it's Travis Lulay in BC or Mark Trestman and Ricky Ray in Toronto or Zach Collaros in Saskatchewan, Cody knows what it's like to be around tough quarterbacks. But the one thing he told us this week is, I'm tough because I learned about it being a short yardage quarterback in 2017 with the Argos, and I know that I want to respect the guys in front of me, but it's not so much the hits I'm taking. When I take that hit and when I let the ball go, I'm listening. I'm listening for the crowd. And last week against Calgary, in a play to Kale and Julian Grant, he listened for a cheer after he got hit. If he does make a similar play, we'll wonder to see if it'll be silence here in Tim Hortons Field, guys.
Thank you, Matthew, as the Tiger Cats go back to James Butler here on first down, running through contact. Beats 2 defenders and a flag down at the end of the play as well. As Jamal Davis finally wraps up James Butler. We'll see what the flags are. Likely a face mask at the end of the play.
Major foul, face mask. Montreal number 29. We'll go up 15 yards from the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Looked a little bit like footage I saw from Touchdown Atlantic of a young Dwayne Ford at Western.
I'll tell you what, James Butler is in BYOB mode here. Be your own blocker. Delivering a blow in that collision with J.R. Reed. You saw the hand come up to the face mask as Reed tried to recover from that initial collision.
The interception earlier, but cost his team some yardage there. Takes it all the way down to the 36-yard line of the Alouettes. Powell over the middle, complete. Godwin can't make Frederick Chagnon miss. Great tackle in the open field that time for the Montreal Caravan alum.
Yeah, Chagnon getting lots of snaps tonight. As you mentioned, Avery Williams, starting middle linebacker, out for the Owls this evening.
Armando Sewell makes his way to the sideline. Mustafa Johnson takes over at nose tackle here against Powell on 2nd and 5. Looks to his left, down the sideline, gives Godwin a chance. Very nearly hauled it in with one hand. Trying to fight through the coverage coverage that time. It's Cordell Rogers out of Texas State on the corner. 2 interceptions on the year. Gets away that time.
I think the fans are lobbying for pass interference here, but not a lot of protesting at all from Terry Godwin on the play.
Challenge flag is out. Orlando Steinauer just pitched it on the turf. Not sure if there's enough here. Maybe the early grab there, Dwayne.
Yeah, could be tangled up.
Hamilton is challenging the ruling on the last play. They believe there was pass interference against their number 33. The play will be reviewed.
Orlando Steinauer 0 for 3 so far on the season when it comes to challenges. Rogers maybe lost the flight of the football for a moment that time and got tangled up.
There you'll see the intended receiver, Terry Godwin, on the outside. Bottom of your screen, the numbers. Matched up man coverage one-on-one with Rogers. And yeah, there was certainly, like, no question there was a point where they got tangled a little bit.
No interference called on the play originally. They've reviewed it. Command has taken a look. Let's go down to our lead official, Ben Major.
Upon further review, the ruling on the field stands. Hamilton loses their challenge and their first team timeout. It's third down.
The field goal unit will come out, and now 0 for 4 on the season in challenges here for Hamilton.
Yeah, and I think that's a reasonable interpretation in terms of hand fighting between the two players as opposed to one specifically impeding the other. You can see Godwin kind of had his hands up trying to push off as well.
This attempt will come from 38 yards away from Mark Leggio. Still perfect on the season, 16 of 16. This distance, 14 of 14. And he knew as soon as he struck that one, never in question for 33. There you see Cody Fajardo. He's been on a couple of different rosters, been around a lot of great mentors as well. Here he is on his CFL journey.
I always tell my family and closest friends that I've been spoiled with riches in the CFL. You know, I feel like my game's at its point because of the people that I've interacted with. It's the people I've learned from. Some people don't get that opportunity to learn from CFL legends, and it seemed like every stop that I made throughout my course of the CFL career has had a legend.
The procedure penalty will go back 5 yards, and it's going to be third down repeated.
Procedure call against the Tiger Cats, and it will be third down once again. So wipe that made field goal off the board. But for Fajardo, not having to play early in his career, something that the quarterbacks that are veterans in this league, I know you and I have talked about this, Dwayne, it's really valuable for them to be able to just watch and learn and understand our game.
Yeah, it really is. As you know, Cody talked to us a little bit about it this week, saying he appreciated the fact that when he eventually did get an opportunity to start, play regularly, 2019 in Saskatchewan, he was ready for that role, to take on that responsibility and that pressure, because he had been brought along slowly.
Leggio gets another attempt. This time leans into it a little bit more than the last. Never in question again. The accuracy, perfect. Dead center for Leggio. You see some of the people that have influenced Cody Fajardo's game, and not a bad couple of quarterbacks to keep your eye on up close and personal.
Yeah, and that's without getting into the fact that he was behind Colin Kaepernick in college. So a pretty good run for Cody Fajardo. And, you know, I mean, this is a guy that showed flashes in very limited action early in his career in Toronto as that dual threat kind of guy, a guy who could make some plays when things started to break down. And then as time has gone on, as we said, being a backup and becoming a little more comfortable with the CFL game and the offenses in which he was playing, You know, he didn't just have to be an ad-lib guy, but it was a guy who could make big plays running the offense.
The tangled web we weave, I think, of standing here in Hamilton, where Zach Collaros takes the high hit from Simone Lawrence in week 1 of 2019. Fajardo comes in. Week 2, they're going into Ottawa, and I'm thinking, Fajardo didn't have it in week 1. I can't see him doing anything in week 2. Him and Dom Davis come out, throw the lights out 4 years ago, and Fajardo has a tremendous 2019 season in Saskatchewan, which of course sent Zach down the trail to Toronto to Winnipeg. Back-to-back Grey Cups, a 3rd straight appearance, and certainly looked tremendous when you were in Winnipeg against the BC Lions back on Thursday night here. Week number 9.
Zach was on fire.
Minute 43 remaining in this first half. Great booming kickoff that time by Leggio as it's returned by Philpott, stuttering and wrapped up. Fajardo leaning on some of that experience after the 15-yard return, try and see what he could grab. This a little bit of an Anthony Calvillo, Ricky Ray feel when you got these last couple of minutes in the CFL. Those guys were experts at being able to engineer touchdown drives in a short amount of time.
I mean, this is one of the things you look for a veteran quarterback, is that clock management, great awareness of situations. See how Cody Fajardo fares here.
Begins from that right hash. Austin Mack shuffles down from his boundary wide receiver spot. A look underneath. Sneed gets a touch. Makes 2-man miss. Gets a block from Mack. Down the sideline. This will help Fajardo and company. Sneed cuts back once more. Makes another man miss and pushed out of bounds at the 36-yard line. A 53-yard gain for the Alouettes on first down.
Yeah, most of it coming in the form of yards after catch produced by Tyler Sneed. Great little jump cut to the outside there. Nice job here to duck back inside, pick up a few more before he's escorted out of bounds.
Coach O was close to having to deal with that one himself, standing on the sideline. Fajardo fakes the run, flip it out. Chandler Worthy gets an offensive touch. Great open field tackle. Chris Edwards brings him down just behind the line of scrimmage that time. As Worthy getting into the mix offensively, just his 4th catch of the season.
Yeah, Alouettes maybe in the last 2 plays taking a bit of a page from the Ticats playbook. Quick hitters, high percentage passes. Let some of your guys use their skills after the catch to pick up yards, but the Ticats no doubt keying on Worthy when they saw him in the offensive formation.
Fajardo simulates the snap. Goes let it roll, goes hard count. Flags come up halfway through his golf swing when he decided to eject from it, and Mark Washington, defensive coordinator, says that one's going against the Owls.
Offside, Montreal number 81. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still going to be 2nd down.
Austin Mack goes out to his wide receiver position after the offside call here. Backs up the Alouettes. 2nd and 16. Saw Jason Moss working his way through the call sheet.
Set the clock to 1 minute even, please. 1 minute.
Add a couple of seconds on.
We're on a hold here.
Alouettes looking to overcome this self-inflicted wound.
Philpott and Sneed, the slot receivers in motion. Take the bubble, gives the draw this time. Inside, stand back. Trying to get a little bit of yardage back that time, make the field goal perhaps a little bit easier.
Well, it looked like Casey Sales managed to get off his block to blow this one up. One stand back at broken through the line of scrimmage.
Sales knocking down the pass attempt from Dustin Crum to Nate Bahar late in the fourth.
Game saver.
Talked to Nate about that after the game. Man, I was open. I had it. Well, Casey Sales got his big mitts up and prevented Ottawa from continuing a matchful streak at the end of games. This one away from David Cote. Oh, it hits the uprights. Doink! And a flag comes up just as it hits the uprights. In behind the play. Pierre-Olivier Lestage got mixed up maybe with Anthony Federico. They both untangled themselves as that one smashed the iron.
You can't help but wonder. Little lost penalty yardage might have been just enough to...
We have a misconduct penalty. Montreal, number 68. It's going to be a 10-yard penalty. It's going to be first down for Hamilton on their 40-yard line.
Special teams coordinator Byron Archambault. Former Tiger Cat draft pick. Back in 2015. Terrific linebacker for Montreal Canadien in his U Sports career.
Olivier Lestage throws the towel back over the head. Turned 26 years old yesterday. Gets called for the misconduct there. A little bit of field position here for the Tiger Cats. As Montreal comes up empty after the big catch and run by Tyler Sneed at the end of the first half. Taylor Powell, 12 of 19. Make that 13 of 20 here in the first half. Turning the legs on the outside. Pass is complete once again, and it goes to Kai Loxley.
Yep. Loxley listed as the number 3 quarterback here today. Antonio Pipkin as number 2.
Ball gets a gain of 7. Shell defense from the Alouettes, allowing everything underneath here at the end of the first half. Duke Williams says thank you. Picks up the first down. The clock down to 9 seconds here. Leggio's long on the year is 50 yards away. They need to get it up to about the 43 to make that happen. So need about 7 more yards. Do have one more timeout in their back pocket. They choose to use it here. Powell looks to his right. Curl route underneath. It's caught. That won't be up to the 43.
It'll be close.
Yeah, just on the edge. Clock is at zeros right now as Marc-Antoine Duquois readjusts the mouth guard and the shoulder pads. And Orlando Steinauer saying there was time left on the clock.
Timer, please put 1 second on the clock. 1 second.
Coach O with the eagle eye as Wesley Sutton down and taking a moment, and they will send out. Looks like the kicking unit. A deep attempt. Keandre Smith paid the price for that one, didn't he? Just trying to get enough yardage to put Leggio in a good situation, but the perfect mark of Leggio is on the line right now.
Yes, well, it could prove to be a big play for Keandre Smith. Taking the hit to make that catch. Chandler Worthy and appeared to be looking for instruction in that end zone, but clearly last play of the half, if he can get it out of there, he's going to get it out without giving up a point.
Leggio, the 39th overall pick to Winnipeg back in 2020. Try to hammer this one from 50.5 yards. Right on the edge of that range. He's got all the leg he needs, and he missed it. Perfect, no more on the season. Worthy trying to get out, and he won't. He slipped in the end zone. And it was Parthel Lloyd downfield to make the play. Flowers Lloyd.
it's just worthy, unfortunate break for Montreal. Lost his footing as he was trying to sneak to the outside there. Flowers Lloyd, who has been an absolute monster on special teams for Hamilton, gets there quickly to take him down. In the case of Sean Lemon.
No doubt. Hamilton ready to get things underway. Montreal won the coin toss at the beginning of the game. They deferred. They take the ball to begin the second half. As this one off the side of the foot, a short kickoff, drops down. Bryson Philpott picks it up at around his own 30 and drives the legs out past the 40. As we get a look at Cody Fajardo in his first half. A couple of errant throws got him in trouble here, Dwayne, and that's why they trail.
Yeah, exactly. A couple of occasions. Looking in the direction of Hergy Mayala, he was picked off, but able to connect. A couple of big plays with Austin Mack. Richard Leonard was the man who proved to be his nemesis in the opening 30 minutes of this ball game, recording both of those Tiger Cat interceptions.
Again, with four receivers to the wide side, they'll run away from it. Stand back, turning the legs, can't get anywhere. As Montreal, a negative 20-point differential in third quarters so far this season. Only Ottawa and Edmonton have struggled more coming out of the locker room at halftime, while Hamilton is plus 23. See if that trend continues. The rare quarter that Hamilton has absolutely owned on the season. They'd love to get off the field here with a quick 2-and-out as Fajardo. Stand back behind him. Stares down a pressure look from the Tiger Cats defense. And off the edge, ball is out. On the ground, it's picked up. Craig Crawford. Simone Lawrence. He'll get the sack. He'll get the forced fumble. And Hamilton's third quarter success continues early on.
This is an interesting one as it's coming from the backside. Simone Lawrence is the blitzing man off the edge. You're going to see Simone sneak up here and come on the blitz, but watch Cody Fajardo because he's kind of known for that back pivot out to his left to escape. And this time, that escape move, he turns right into Simone Lawrence, who gets a hand on the ball and pops it free. I believe it was Trey Crawford with the recovery.
Yeah, you're right, Dwayne. Simone went for the upfield shoulder.
Yeah.
He wasn't taking the false shoulder there. As Taylor Powell gets his first touch of the second half. Goes back to who else? James Butler. And Bryce Notree right there to stack him up.
Hey, happy birthday, Effie. I told you I was going to get you one. Really like that. Hey, appreciate that.
Big play for Simone. Apparently Effie shares a birthday with our director, Andy Bayukas.
Andy had no idea.
Maybe they can have a joint party.
Imagine the joy in the truck to find out. Happy birthday, Effie. Powell on 2nd and 9. Trying to take advantage of the sack fumble recovery. Powell, will he use the legs? Scrambling to the left, trying to get to the sticks. First down, Hamilton. And it'll be goal to go.
Again, nice effort from Taylor Powell using the legs. He doesn't like what he sees downfield. Things go off script. Create on your own to keep the drive alive. So it was Lemon jumping inside on that one.
Oh, Kyle, you got to move your feet, Kyle. And hammered by the quarterback from the Tiger Cats here. Handoff. Butler cuts it back. Trying to run the rail. He'll get inside the 5-yard line. As that left side led by Brandon Revenberg. I got to tell you, the big Mike on the sideline. There's nowhere to go. Kyle's trapped.
Listen, Kyle was caught flat-footed. Is that you got to be light on your feet, bend your knees, get in an athletic position down there.
Flags come up here on the snap. This play never happened. As Powell, nice enough to welcome Kyle back to his feet.
Procedure, Hamilton number 65. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still going to be second down.
Yeah, that one goes against Kendrick Sartor. That's the right tackle. We've already seen 2 procedure calls against left tackles here tonight, Dwayne. Offensive line struggling to get in rhythm.
Yeah, you wonder a little bit again. We talked about a veteran guy in Sean Lemon, and certainly Jamal Davis. No slouch at defensive end either. In terms of supplying some heat, you wonder for these young tackles if they're in their heads a little bit.
Powell in the gun. 4-man rush, has time and protection. Now steps forward, trying to use his legs again. Slides down inside the 5 on 2nd and 9. They'll be inside the 5. It wiped off the gain by Butler, and he basically just picked it back up again. But the penalty really hurt him on that one, and out comes the field goal unit.
Yeah, the difference between 3 and 6 to 8, depending on the convert. But we saw the penalty contributing to a big swing at the end of the first half the other way for Montreal, where you got to believe a penalty that moved them back contributed to a field goal being missed by Montreal. Hamilton marches down and is able to pick up a single.
Leggio punches this one through. Back on rhythm. You know, Kyle's going to have some regrets in the offseason. He's got some work to do to get ready for the next one. Tougher than nails here in the... There you see Richard Leonard. He's got 2 interceptions here on the evening. It wasn't that long ago, back in his rookie season, 5 seasons ago. 7 picks as a rookie for the Tiger Cats, and back in black and gold and making plays.
Yeah, getting a couple of gifty type ones here in the opening half of this ball game. As Hergy Mayala slipped on the first one, then an overthrow on the second. He'll take him.
Flip inside this time. Goes to Tyson Philpott as Simone Lawrence makes the tackle after having the sack and forced fumble on the last play. And good to see Tyson Philpott out there, back from the injured list. It was interesting this week hearing Cody Fajardo say, people don't realize this, I hadn't thrown to Tyson since the 2nd day of training camp.
Yeah.
He wasn't healthy until the 3rd day of practice last week before the Calgary game. So they basically used this week to get back on the same page.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, 2nd-year receiver, but Fajardo's 1st year working with him. It just takes a little bit of time to figure out that timing, body movements, etc. for a quarterback.
Worked on that last one with a little flip inside. Now they go to the ground game, trying to get out to the 50-yard line. That's what they need for the first down. Stanback leans across that white line. He's right on the line.
Just as an aside, is it kind of funny that the Philpott twins got hurt at the same time?
Unfortunate. I mean, I was really excited to see Jalen's 2nd year as well. And it sounds like it's going to be a struggle for him to come back in Calgary. Hope to see him on the field, but Tyson wandering around pregame, you could just tell he's happy to be back on his feet.
Yeah, both so exciting in their rookie years. Living up to the hype coming out of the University of Calgary.
Jason Moss said that he watched the Philpotts and said they were the most pro-ready U Sports receivers he's seen. Fajardo looks over the top. Austin Mack, as CFL ready as they come, adds to his tally on the night, moves the chains for another Alouettes first down.
Yeah, and we've said it all year, what a terrific pickup Austin Mack has been for the Montreal Alouettes this season. Former National Football League receiver. Coming north this year, and a guy who's a real student of the game.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks and coaches noting how quickly he's picked up the offense and starting in camp.
Stanback cuts it back right down the rail. Big chunk on the ground on first down. And Montreal's offensive line starting to move some bodies up front for a team that's had trouble running the rock this year, just 5th in the CFL at 87 yards per game.
And we mentioned it earlier, but William Stanback, really, quite frankly, looking like William Stanback of a couple seasons ago. Constantly moving that pile with him every time he goes into contact.
Montreal loads the box here, goes back to stand back off that right-hand side. Picks up another first down on the ground. Somehow still 0 touchdowns on the season as we're here in week 9. Wonder if he gets an opportunity to punch one in at the end of this drive, but seeing his touches go up, and last week, you're right, Dwayne, he looked a little bit more like himself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, most running backs will tell you that with bigger workload that they will become more productive, and there you saw stand back. As his carries went up, so too did his yards per carry.
This time they flip it out on the edge. It's Philpott. Cuts across the 25 and wrapped up. That time Tunde Adeleke, Canadian on Canadian, finishing off the play, but a nice little piece on first down as it goes for a gain of about 8 on the play.
Yeah, I think back to last year, the combination of those young Canadian receivers, Tyson Philpott and Keon Julian Grant, and the high percentage of their yards that came after the catch, both so dynamic with the ball in their hands. You can see Jason Moss keeping that element of the offense in this season.
Loaded backfield again for the Alouettes. They go heavy and they pound it. Inside the 15 goes Stanback.
Yeah, all downhill for William Stanback. Big punishing back. He's going to head to the sidelines for a play. Jeshrin Antwi, another University of Calgary product, checking in. Stavros Katsantonis says thanks for the ride.
Washington trying to find a way to get enough bodies in the middle to get a stop. Good to see Malik Carney back out there after he was injured in the first half. Mohamed Diallo, defensive tackle, left the ball game with injury as Antwi runs into a pile. There's also an Alouettes helmet rolling away. It's Tyson Philpott's. They'll go collect that and pop it back on. Second time we've seen the Alouettes lose a helmet to Stanback earlier on as well. Those pull tabs on the side of the helmet, so much easier than when you played, eh, Dwayne? Tightening down the chin strap.
Yeah, I remember my helmet popping off once in a game.
Once?
Just once.
Fajardo has 2nd and 8. 5.5 remaining here in the third quarter. Philpott alongside him with Antwi. Deep drop by Fajardo. Looks into the end zone, checks it down underneath. And it is Chris Edwards making the tackle just outside the 5-yard line. A lot of checkdowns, and Edwards has been rallying to get stops.
I remember Edwards, the Ottawa game here, making a big tackle in this part of the field to postpone the start of Crumb Mania in Ottawa.
Gets chopped down. The field goal unit comes out, something we saw so many times from Montreal against Calgary last week. One off an all-time record of field goals made, 12 total in the game last week. Cote punches this one through. A chip shot. It's a 1-score game as Ford tests me with trivia from eras gone by and makes me a better broadcaster. Taylor Powell at the controls for Hamilton here with an 8-point lead. Takes the run, looks to check it down once again. James Butler. I was joking about him leading the CFL in receiving earlier. It's getting less funny as we carry on.
Yeah, Butler doing everything in his power to make that happen. But again, very logical game plan for Powell at quarterback.
On Lemon with a little bit of pressure at the very start of the game. Hasn't been a ton since then. Powell climbing the pocket, moving around. Alouettes pass rush, getting sacks on just 4% of opponent dropbacks this season. That's last in the CFL. Powell's getting it out quick, checking it down. We'll see where he goes here on 2nd and 5. Bit of a deeper drop, takes a shot this time. Godwin down the field against Ento, incomplete. The star of Week 8 for the Montreal Alouettes, who had the only major in the ball game, Kabian Ento, right there on the coverage, his length on full display.
Yeah, terrific coverage provided there by the Alouettes corner. Converted receiver back in his college days. Terrific athlete, special teamer. Well, just making life difficult for Godwin.
Well, Sunderland, backup defensive back, loops around the back of Bailey Flint. Hamilton constantly threatening to leave a player onside. Pressure on! He got tipped, it looked like. Short punt, rolls down. Trying to chase it down is Flint. And a flag comes down. But if it was Flint that was inside, it will not be no yards. An 18-yard punt after the pressure. We'll get a look at it here. We'll sort it out when we return. Regardless, Cody Fajardo and the Alouettes have got good field position.
To go awry for the Hamilton Tiger Cats when they have trouble picking up Jamal Davis in that right A-gap. Guard fans out, center can't get enough of him, up back can't get enough of him. Davis affecting the kick. Bailey Flint trying to hustle down to cover it. He's going to get ear hold. And the other Bailey Feltmate gets called for no yards.
David Dallaire, the Laval special team savvy, the rookie, went and searched out the punter. You're not going to get the football on his watch. Put to the outside. Tyson Philpott gets the edge. Escorted out of bounds that time by Kenneth George Jr., but nice play that time from the Alouettes to start the drive.
And when you watch this play, you'll see how Fajardo holds onto the ball just long enough to wait out. Stavros Katsatonis, the safety, was coming downhill and kind of trying to get in that passing lane. But Fajardo changed up the angle on him by waiting. Pick up that first down.
Inside handoff this time. It's Philpott taking a page out of the Tiger Cats offensive playbook of the last couple of years, mixing in a receiver run as Jonathan Kongbo slashes down from defensive end to make the play.
Well, Philpotts, of course, have those great running back genes. Dad Corey, longtime BC Lion running back. Doing a pretty good job coaching the BC junior football ranks.
Big second down here for the Alouettes, trailing by a single score. 2 minutes left in the third. Four-man rush. Fajardo escapes, but it won't be enough for the first down. He gets stacked up and brought down. Casey Sales back there alongside Kongbo, and Fajardo limps his way towards the sideline.
This is where Cody's going to show a bit of that toughness after taking a pretty good lick on that one. Alouettes send the field goal team here, looking for the 50-yarder.
This one, Cote, long on the year is 51, might be about 6 inches inside of that. Hamilton does have one blocked kick on the season. It's Carthel Flowers Lloyd on a punt though. Cote hammers it all the distance in the world. The big leg from the Rouge et Or out of Laval, 5th round pick. There's Jason Moss. More on his experience and cross connections with Orlando Steinauer and more when we return.
Careers came together and built their coaching philosophies. I remember early on watching Orlando Steinauer as the defensive back coach for the Argos and Jason Moss as the quarterback coach going after each other. Not only that, they lived together. Moss's wife Margene and Orlando Steinauer's wife Gina were college roommates. And the one thing, when you talk to O'Shea and when you talk to Steinauer and Moss, they all talk about how much they love each other, guys.
An incredible coaching staff is James Butler. It's rolled up by Frederick Chagnon and chasing down the backside. There's Sean Lemon getting involved in the running game, but that's a ridiculous.
You know, the general manager in those days, Jim Barker, proving that even a blind squirrel finds the odd nut, Marsh.
Did Barker hire all of those coaches? Scott Milanovic on that list as well, obviously, as the head coach. Interesting to hear Moss talk about connections that, quite honestly, I did not know he had with Orlando Steinauer. Goes way, way back. motion out Tyree McAllister from the backfield to slot. Powell with some pressure on, rolls to his left, little sidearm that time, incomplete, intended for Butler. That'll be his 8th target in the passing game tonight, on top of 9 carries for 51 yards. And he's got the lone major going to James Butler. Often tonight. Why not? In week 9, get it to number 9. Taylor Powell trying to lead a home victory, get his first victory as a starting quarterback in the CFL. We'll see if the Tiger Cats can close it out when we return. Your score, the Hamilton Tiger Cats trying to get a victory here at home. You said it during the break, Dwayne, when it came up here. We were getting a quick look at the stats. They're remarkably similar. I don't know how we got to this place where it is almost all things equal, but really the difference right now is James Butler getting into the end zone. Other than that, these two teams nearly identical statistically.
Yeah, and you think about the score of this ball game. You're talking about a 5-point game, but go back to the end of the first half where there was that 4-point swing, right? That would have made the game that much closer. Montreal takes a penalty, which leads to them missing a field goal that they would have been a few yards closer on the attempt. They hit the upright. Hamilton marches down the field and gets a single point that, if not for a slip by Chandler Worthy, they avoid.
Worthy standing back, ready to return this one as we kick off the 4th and final quarter between these two East Division rivals. Flint, a significantly less adventurous punt this time as Worthy falls backwards, gets a little momentum, and for a 45-yard punt down the field, there is Nick Cross making the tackle out of UBC. There's Cody Fajardo, 12 of 16 on the night with those 2 interceptions. Really haven't cost him all that much because points off turnovers, Hamilton not taking advantage. He's trying to find some sort of rhythm here in the 4th quarter to continue the 1-game winning streak of the Alouettes.
We've seen a lot of success for Montreal just pounding the ball with William Stanback. Getting into the 4th quarter here, they've had the Hamilton defense on the field enough. 5-point game, why not give 31 the rock?
They go flea flicker to start this drive. Cody loads it up down the field. Courtney Davis up for grabs. Hauls it in at the 35-yard line. Well, that's one way to light the fire under this offense.
You feel like when Kahari Jones departed as coach of the Montreal Alouettes, he might have left a note in the drawer in his office with this play. Jason Moss pulls it out. The Alouettes execute it perfectly for a massive gain. Richard Leonard, you can see him peeking in the backfield, getting ready to step up and run support.
Very nearly got away with it. Is this time out to the sideline? It's Tyler Sneed, and he steps out of bounds. Able to scheme him open as well on 1st down. Sneed adds to his tally here on the evening. The big chunk play earlier on.
And if they'd just been able to get this one to Sneed maybe a split second earlier, because he's a little farther from the sideline, would have been able to turn that one north-south before stepping on the strike.
1st and 10 from the 24. Fajardo hands it off. Stanback goes back to work. It's got to hurt William Stanback's heart to have to flip backwards on a flea flicker when he's grinding away. Gets 5 on that play. Working his way through the calls. As the Hamilton crowd gets into it on a beautiful, clear Saturday night. Fajardo. Hard count at the line of scrimmage. Play clock at 2. He gets it off. Looks into the end zone over the top. It's Austin Mack fighting back to the football. And it'll be defensive pass interference. The veteran savvy of Austin Mack. He knew, Dwayne, when number 2 had his back turned.
Pass interference. Hamilton number 2. The penalty occurred in the end zone. It's going to be 1st down for Montreal at the 1-yard line.
Yes, you trust the officials to make the right call, but sometimes you just make sure you give them a little bit of help. Make it very clear that you were affected by the defender.
Underrated skill, though, right?
Yes.
Sacrificial lamb in this one. You jump back into the defensive back.
Split-second decision.
Puts it down on the goal line. Caleb Evans handling the short yardage responsibility. 0 touchdowns so far this season. Plunges to the right-hand side. Touchdown, Alouettes. As they take the lead to start the fourth quarter. First time they've had the lead in this ball game.
It ends with a simple plunge. But this drive really began with a special play. I don't like the term trick play, special play. Pulled out by Jason Moss and Anthony Calvillo in this Montreal Alouettes offense. They execute it perfectly to get a big chunk of yardage and then capitalize. Caleb Evans finishing it off. The Owls take the lead.
They'll go for 2 here. No attempts on the season. 2-point conversions for the Alouettes. Only BC and Winnipeg haven't attempted any now. Underneath, easy mode. Austin Mack settled down nicely as the Hamilton Tiger Cats give up their first touchdown since the fourth quarter against Toronto. Caleb Evans, he did plenty of this for Ottawa last season. Plunges into the end zone. Touchdown, Owls.
And I want you to keep an eye on Cody Fajardo on the flea flicker after the throw. Watch him reach to his left shoulder pectoral muscle area, kind of grasping that and grimacing. And this is a couple of plays later. Throws the ball. And again, immediately grabbing, came off the field holding that area as well. And being looked at the bench, Caleb Evans loosening up.
Eric McAllister returns this, kickoff return specialist for the Tiger Cats. But yeah, I saw him running off after having the 2-point conversion. He just lead to Austin Mack, and I thought, oh, maybe he's just, grabbing his heart or, doing something to, relax his shoulders after a throw. But no, he was in pain going to the sideline there and kind of came out of nowhere.
Well, yeah, considering that the flea flicker was the first play of the drive, he was untouched on the play.
What was he saying there?
This is non-throwing shoulder, but obviously in some discomfort. So keep an eye on that. Matthew Shinetti down on the sidelines for us here throughout the evening. Marshall Ferguson, Dwayne Ford as Taylor Powell looks over the middle, up in the air, intercepted. Lemon drops, and it went right into his hands. Told Matthew Shinetti at halftime he wanted to go and make a play fast. That one a gift after starting slow in his return to the CFL last week. A sack, a forced fumble, and now an interception for Sean Lemon. Ball up in the air for grabs. Lemon had it right away. Montreal in control.
Cody Fajardo staying in the game. Right where Sean Lemon put him.
Interception of the night. Taylor Powell now pressure on. Fajardo wrapped up, and that's not going to feel good on that left shoulder. He was getting some attention too earlier on. As once again in the backfield, it's Chris Edwards.
Edwards, you can see that full blitz posture at the end of the line. Tried to time it up a little bit. Unblocked man as Montreal, you can see, setting up the screen. They're letting him go.
Some quick game to get it out of Fajardo's hands. It felt like some blessed relief that time called in from the sidelines from Jason Moss. As we get a look here, Dwayne, about 15 minutes ago, our great crew has been able to dig through the film and find where we think Fajardo might have got knocked on that left shoulder.
Yeah, starts to scramble, stepping upfield as he gets wrapped up. Takes a pretty solid pop right on that left arm. Kyle Wilson delivering the blow, and you can see him grabbing, trying to loosen that up. Maybe just the big throw, the deep throw. Really tweaked it on the flea flicker.
Uncomfortable feeling, no doubt. You can see the way he's playing through it. A field goal tagged on here by David Cote, but talked to Fajardo this week about getting hit in the funny bone in the Sunday game this past week against Calgary, and he said it was kind of scary. I couldn't feel my fingers, and he said the lightning delay that happened in Montreal actually made it worse because guys went to the locker room, you're sitting there for an hour, and the aches and pains of a full half of football started to settle in. And this one, I mean, it's in the second half, but he has been battling all sorts of different things and trying to work it through. And even last year, dealing with the knee injury.
Yeah, no doubt. And again, we go back to those three core things that Jason Moss looks for in his quarterbacks. And Jason suggested toughness may actually be the biggest.
Yep.
Ahead of being smart and being accurate. That's mental and physical toughness.
Taylor Powell slings this one out. Godwin makes the grab. On the screen gain of about 7. As we see Powell trying to get the Tiger Cats back into the football game, playing from behind as Godwin now is down on the turf, and they'll have to take a look at him after making the grab.
Yeah, we've talked at length about sort of the high percentage conservative kind of game plan, the ball being in the hands of James Butler a lot up to this point, but certainly as Orlando Steinauer and his offensive coordinator Tommy Condell watch the clock, look at the score, down by a touchdown. Certainly not panic time, but we'll see if they do start to become a little bit more aggressive, as there is now a need for points.
We saw J.R. Reed has an interception tonight from Montreal, fellow Georgia Bulldog, going over to make sure that Terry Godwin was okay. As Powell gets the call in here. Andre Smith into the ball game alongside Tim White to the bottom of your screen. Play clock down, snap comes up, offside against Hamilton, and it would have been a free run sack anyways for Bryce Notree if they would have got it off.
Offside, Hamilton, number 89. It's a 5-yard penalty. We'll replay second down.
Hamilton now 8 penalties for 68 yards in the ball game. And more pressing at the moment, creating a second and longer situation.
With Godwin out, they'll play both Richie Sindani and Keandre Smith, Canadian receiver bookends here. 4-man pressure. Powell looks over the top. Tim White, incomplete. Just past White, who has the deepest average depth of target in the Hamilton receiving group. Couldn't haul that one in on 2nd and 8.
Yeah, we've seen Hamilton try to take a couple of deep shots here, which again is an important aspect that, you know, yeah, you're playing conservatively, but you got to keep the defense honest. Try and push the ball every so often, but they haven't been able to make a connection on one of those.
Bailey Flint drops it down. 55-yard punt, and down the sideline goes Chandler Worthy. Effective as ever, getting Montreal better field position. Cody Fajardo banged up, heads back out with a 6-point. Rough Riders.
Used to be.
Well,
used to be.
That's what Russ Jackson told me. Very proud of putting the double R on the '69 Grey Cup championship ring. The Rough Riders. This man running away from tacklers. William Stanback across the 55, running through Stavros Katsantonis, the first man to make contact. And that'll certainly help Cody Fajardo being banged up here.
Watch when Stanback cuts back to his right on this play and sort of gets out on the perimeter. There's literally no one in front of him. It's crazy, nothing but space out there. The big back to roll.
Last week set a season-high 86 yards. Now he's at the 95, a new season-high back-to-back weeks for William Stanback. Getting the wheels churning. They go back to 31. Tries to cut it back. Stacked up on first down. Montreal in the lead here with a 6-point advantage as we near the midway point of the fourth quarter. And of course, If they win the season series against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Really important because we saw Toronto last night. Jack Kelly goes down, doesn't play in that game against Calgary. Their first loss of the season. Ottawa Redblacks battling to stay in it. Dustin Crum got that team believing a little bit. Quarterback injuries here in the East, a major storyline. And you see how tight it is. Second, third, and fourth spot. Fajardo, maximum protection. Looks to the outside. That one hung up a little bit on him. Ian Elliott right there to knock it away from Tyson Philpott.
Yeah, nice coverage there by Elliott right in the hip pocket. Able to get a hand on the football on the break. Clean pocket there for Fajardo to work. The coverage doesn't get much tighter than that. The former Stampeder. Elliott shutting that one down.
A couple of guys that probably crossed paths inside McMahon Stadium practicing. Calgary Dinos as this one. The punt is away, but Joseph Zima had someone slide directly into his legs. And the most penalized team in the CFL might have just taken another one that's going to cost them.
Extending the drive.
Roughing the punter. Hamilton, number 91. It's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down for Montreal.
Anthony Federico, the guilty party. Here's the look at it, Dwayne.
Yeah, young guy trying to make a play on special teams, and sometimes honestly you have to know when not to lay out. We saw that with Jamal Davis affecting a punt earlier in this game. Chose not to because he was on an approach angle where he couldn't really do it without running into the kicker. But those are the ones you could see the look on Orlando Steinauer's face. You had them off the field.
And Fajardo rolling to his right, looking over the top. Open receiver. It's Regis Sibasu inside the 10. Touchdown, Montreal. The rarely used Regis Sibasu in the passing attack hauls it in and gets a major as flags come out at the end of the play. Just his second catch of the season.
As the penalty extends the drive and the Alouettes make the Tiger Cats pay huge. Sibasu, originally a Toronto Argonaut draft pick.
The ruling on the field is a touchdown. After the touchdown, we have a 10-yard misconduct against Montreal, number 83.
Tight end completely forgotten in coverage. Kenneth George Jr. on the back end. You can see him jump up to take the route in the flat. Two guys go there. No one follows Sibasu deep. Touchdown.
A 10-yard penalty will be applied on the ensuing kickoff.
I'm just going to say it for all the football coaches enjoying some Saturday night CFL football here. Bring back the inline tight end.
Yes, sir.
In Canadian football. I love it when those tight ends, three-point stance, get off the ball, corner route. Beautiful throw by Fajardo as well, battling through. Joseph Zima, who had his legs chopped out by Anthony Federico, extended the drive. He puts the hold down here. David Cote knocks it through. And all of a sudden, it's a 27-14 lead for the Owls.
You're going to see Sibasu from his tight end spot. He's going to work kind of a narrow corner, get another route out in the flat, and all the defenders play that flat down low, let the corner go. Sibasu wide open. And off to the races for the Montreal touchdown, turning it into a two-score ball game.
That one's got to feel good for Fajardo. Maybe not the slap on the injured shoulder from the coaching staff, but
Vanier Cup, Sibasu.
14?
He play against you?
I honestly can't remember. Listen, Dwayne, I'm getting old. Nearly a decade ago. A lot of Montreal Caravans on this Alouettes roster, rightfully so. Making making a lot of plays. When you look around their roster here tonight, Marc-Antoine Duquois starting free safety, Frederick Chagnon starting middle linebacker. You got Sibasu catching a touchdown. David Dallaire making the big special teams play, knocking Bailey Flint earlier at a Laval. Accessing the homegrown Quebec talent. Very important to the Alouettes. Tyreek McAllister returns this with the help of the misconduct penalty against Sibasu, spinning the ball into the feet of the defensive back on his touchdown. It'll help Hamilton get out to the 45. And you want to see Taylor Powell put in some work right now. Well, I think they're going to open up the playbook a little bit for him here, 17 of 28.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to with 6 minutes to go in this ball game, and certainly good test for Taylor Powell at this point. You know, as much as you're obviously trying to win football games, everything's still a learning situation for the first-year QB.
Terry Godwin back on the field after being injured earlier. Underneath throw goes to Tim White this time. Give him a gain of 5 on the play. Up to the 51 of the Tiger Cats.
They're going to keep things moving, going with the tempo offense here. Preserve time as they need those 2 scores to get back in this one.
Dangerous times right now for the Tiger Cats offense, but they have to play loose and free. Powell sacked, brought down in the backfield, and Sean Lemon got another.
Alouettes defense once again twist up front as Powell tries to step up. Things just close down on him.
Sean Lemon all over it with the coverage sack with Chandler Worthy. Nowhere to go, trying to knife his way and get what he can. Out to the 23-yard line. For special teams there for the Tiger Cats to close it down. And the Montreal offense comes back out onto the field as Bo Levi and Mitchell and his wife Maddie watch on.
This is one of those moments where you remember Sean Lemon back at halftime talking about how he needed to make a big play for his defense and for his team. Well, Lemon came up with that. Now is the time where the Tiger Cats could use another turnover from their defense, which has already produced 2 INTs.
Side handoff, William Standback. Driving the legs, gets a bit more extra with the effort. Standback, just your absolute worst nightmare in these kind of situations. Inside 4 minutes. 13-point deficit for the Tiger Cats, and you got to bring that man down.
Yeah, big body, powerful runner, and at this point they've already had to deal with him for 56 minutes. You know, the Tiger Cat defense is feeling it.
Gerardo decides to keep it himself, looks to the outside, catch and run. Sneed trying to make a couple men miss. And on second down, he moves the sticks with the extra effort that time. Would have been easy to give it to 31 again. Fajardo decided to dig it to the outside and get Sneed some love.
Yeah, pulls it. A nice job by Sneed as well, as he's just short of the first down marker, but making the first man miss, and then fighting upfield for that first down. And terrific clock management as well by Fajardo. 1 second left when he gets the ball snapped.
Again, Fajardo takes the run, this time purging Mayala on the receiving end. Another first down, flag comes up.
Yeah, I wonder if we had someone blocking too early out there on the perimeter.
Yeah, it looks like a holding call will go against the Montreal Alouettes, so that'll back them up as Ben Major calls the hold against the Owls. We've hit the 3-minute warning. Montreal in control at all times. That's what you got to have. Strength to hold up that microphone, the resiliency you get run into. After the holding call against Montreal, 1st and 20. Underneath Fajardo, once again wide open. Oh, that's a big gain. That'll help Montreal get themselves out of a hole as Tyler Sneed caught it on the run and quickly got upfield.
Yeah, that's a massive play for the Alouettes. 1st and plus yardage, Sneed trailing in this formation. Just waits for the lead man to clear. Reads it, finds the open space. Easy pickings for Cody Fajardo.
William Stanback sitting on 99 yards, rushing on the evening. No more. Make it a dollar bill for 31.
The Alouettes doing a nice job eating up yardage, but also chewing up that clock. Just over 2 minutes to go.
Stanback his 11th career 100-yard game. Done last season in the regular season. Of course, injured for a large chunk of time after a Week 1 injury in 2022, but 23 getting the wheels turning. I'll go back to him. Dancing his way off that left-hand side. Not much to be gained there, but do you get a sense when you watch William Stanback run right now, there's just a little bit more added patience? I don't know if the blocking scheme has changed with Jason Moss.
Timeout, Hamilton.
As the Tiger Cats use a timeout here, but just the patience to see it and wait and kind of glide.
Yeah, just that brief hesitation in a good way. Hesitation is in reading, not hesitation is in avoiding contact, because we certainly know that he doesn't do that.
Off the sideline there, you see fullback, variety of talents. James Tuck come into the game. They targeted in free agency. Moss and Fajardo brought over from Saskatchewan. Jedwin Ansquey into the ball game as well with William Stanback. Last thing this Hamilton defense wants to see, but Montreal content bringing the heavy package and throw off of it. Nobody really open, working back towards the football, and it was almost a 3rd interception for Richard Leonard as Sneed and Fajardo not on the same page on that one. And Fajardo slow to make his way back up onto his feet as they talk it over.
A little coaching moment there for the veteran quarterback and young receiver. So Hamilton will get the ball back. They'll have to work quickly here.
Tyreek McAllister from his own 9-yard line. After a 49-yard punt, flags up. Makes it out just past the 20 with 1:26 remaining. And Montreal in control of the season series. Ben Major, our referee tonight, working his way through the call as he goes to have a conversation with Orlando Steinauer.
Ben Major, the former McGill University linebacker.
Really?
True story.
As it looks like they re-kicked this one, maybe. Yeah.
There are 2 penalties on the previous play. The first one before the kick, holding Montreal 44. The second penalty after Hamilton gained possession, illegal block on the 43. Will re-kick.
The old make the coverage unit do it again and hope Tyreek can spring one.
Yeah, I hope you catch him tired. You'll occasionally see teams in these situations get a couple of subs, couple sets of fresh legs out there on the punt cover team just to help out.
certainly helped Hamilton's cause. Inside 90 seconds remaining in the ball game. Zima, this one a low roller that takes one hop into the waiting arms of McAllister. And the coverage team right there. 43-yard punt, Jesuit and Tweed. Now on the field with Sibasu, a couple of guys that have made some plays tonight on offense, working hard on special teams as well.
Yes, sir. Life in the Canadian Football League.
Let's go. Oh!
Yeah, Taylor Powell, 18 of 29 right now. Just 187 yards in those 2 interceptions. One popped up in the air. Dropped down to Sean Lemon, who's got 2 sacks and a forced fumble on the evening as well. Lemon not on the field right now. Avery Ellis in, Jamal Davis on the opposite side. 3-man pressure. Powell flips it out. Big hit. Digging out underneath, Cordell Rogers got James Butler for the minimal gain.
Yeah, that pass worked in the first half of this football game and even through 3 quarters of this game, but obviously at this stage, it's not really helping your cause.
Tough spot for Powell to be in, averaging just 7 yards average depth of target. In his limited reps so far this year, being chased by Jamal Davis. Down he goes. Davis will add a 3rd sack to his season tally.
Powell brought down the 18-yard line.
Davis coming off the end. Coming from the top of your screen. Fights off the tackle, and again, tough situation as the quarterback is leaving the pocket, as that's tough for the tackle to see.
Third and 14 in desperation time now, obviously, for the Tiger Cats. Powell steps forward, flips it out to the sideline. Butler gets another catch. And it'll be a turnover on downs for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Montreal defense really solid throughout the evening, Ray. Not really allowing Powell to get into any sort of rhythm. And you see Jason Moss fired up with Noel Thorpe. See his team close this one out.
Yeah, and a couple of things stand out, Marsh. You think about this ball game. You see Duke Williams limited to just 1 catch in this one, but from a Montreal perspective, you mentioned earlier Montreal with that low ratio of sacks relative to pass rush plays. That's why you go out and get Sean Lemon. So Sean Lemon in this game produces a sack, a forced fumble, and an interception. An impact defensive player, changing the complexion of their team. That's huge. But one of the other themes we've talked about in this game, things Jason Moss looks for in his quarterback, and the emphasis he has placed on toughness. You think about Cody Fajardo leading the comeback after he got hurt.
Taking advantage of the big roughing the punter penalty. Shot over the top, Regis Sibasu. Williams Stanback helped grind this one away. And the Montreal Alouettes, after losing 3 games in a row, back-to-back victories. Home against the Calgary Stampeders, they get a win on Sunday. The following Saturday, they end up getting themselves a big victory on the road. Take the season series against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Hamilton will go into a bye now, trying to sort things out. And for Cody Fajardo and Jason Moss,